Hey, what's up YouTube? Boss Pedals. What are the old ones really worth? Okay, let's discuss this. So this is a used pedal, but of today's era, right? So DS1. They sell for $85.99 brand new in Canada at your local Long McQuade and many other musical outlets that carry Boss products. Now I, of course, only paid $49 for this because it was a used one that they had in stock during their Jack's Addict weekend sale. Which, by the way, if you live anywhere where there's a Long McQuade that is open on Sundays, it's still on apparently. Anyways, so with that being said, I've had a lot of Boss pedals over the years, too many to count. And I kind of got out of pedals for quite a while and got into the processing boards, and now I'm back out of processing boards again because I recently got rid of my ME80, traded it in for a guitar and some pedals and some other stuff. Kind of fun. You'll be seeing more videos, of course. But what happens with the value of these pedals? That's a good question. Any Boss pedal that is been made eons ago that is still currently in production, you're not going to see any gain in value. In fact, you're going to see a huge loss, because if they're still producing the same pedal, it's the same circuitry, it's the same design, okay? Even if they have an anniversary edition in black with gold lettering, okay, it's the same flipping pedal, okay? There's no difference, right? So they are not gaining any kind of value just because they're old or old and beat up. It could be old and in perfect condition because the guy never, or the girl never took it out of their room. You know, they just used it in their own room, right? Their bedroom, studio, whatever, right? So, but even if it's been beat up, it's been toured with a musician, whoever that musician may have been, who really cares? Doesn't matter. The pedal is not worth higher than the new price of the brand new of the exact same pedal, okay? Now, Boss did come out with the Waza pedals, right? New circuitry, new design to a certain extent, right? They've changed, obviously, the sound reproduction quality out of them, etc., right? Because everybody hated the metal zones, right? Most hated pedal ever. I kind of actually like them. I think they're pretty cool. But a lot of people said they couldn't control it. They couldn't get it to clean up right, or some excuse. Look, it's a metal zone. It's made for metal. And if it sounds like garbage on your amp, maybe you should be getting a different amplifier, because I guarantee you that over 90% of your tone is actually in your amplifier, the speaker that's in it, the cabinet size, features of the amp, wattage and dB level capabilities of said amp, and so on. They all have a different voice, right? Amps are voiced differently. So, you know, just because it might sound crummy on your gear, doesn't mean it's going to sound crummy on somebody else's. I actually got another DS1, although I really wasn't going to. I kind of hemmed and hawed, because on the gear I had at the time when I did my initial review, I kind of like, yeah, you know, I mean, it ended up in the end not being for me. Even with the diode mod being done, it kind of helped it, but it didn't help it enough to convince me to keep it. So I bought another one. Because I am, like I said, getting away from the pedal boards again, at least for a while. When I do go into a pedal board again, I'm going back to the GT1000, because that is like the ultimate creme de la creme, god of all pedal boards, okay? I mean, in my opinion, but you have your own, and that's fine. We can agree to disagree if we don't agree. Anyways, but when it comes to the pedals, I mean, if I can get this of today's newest reproduction of this pedal for $50 on sale at Long McQuade with a warranty, what do you think that thing's actually realistically worth on the used market? And you're getting a private deal, right? So you got no warranty, you're not paying taxes, which is great. Well, you're looking anywhere between, depending on the condition, of course. In absolute cherry condition, we're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of about $30 to maybe $50. On the very top end, if you're willing to pay it, $60. Because that still does save you $29 in taxes. Just remember, no warranty when you're buying private deals, okay? So keep that in mind. If it's all beat to snot, you know, paint job is pretty messed up, I've seen a number of them, the people want exorbitant money for it. Vintage Boss DS1 pedal. I don't care if it's vintage. The rest of the planet doesn't care if it's vintage, because I can buy a brand spanking new one that's exactly the same as yours with the exact same sound for less money than what you want, which vintage means nothing when it comes to these things. So Boss is one of those companies where they're producing a lot of the same pedals for the last several decades. They're still doing them today, so therefore that means that those pedals are basically worth about as much as you're willing to really pay for one if you want a vintage one, which gives you no extra advantage whatsoever. It is time, people, for a reality check. Now, if you want the better sounding of the DS1 series or whatever they're doing, whatever it is they're doing in Wazacraft, if you want to pay the higher big bucks for the Waza line of pedals, okay, then by all means go for it, because they are actually better from what I've been told. I haven't tried any, so I won't swear to it, but I am going to be probably renting some Waza ones if I can. And if I can, I will do some demos for you guys. And we'll see just how much better even the new Waza Metal Zone is compared to the original Metal Zone. So I'll try and get both, right? And rent both, and we'll compare them and see, you know, is the Waza really worth the extra money? Well, in the end, it will still be determined up to you if you like the sound. But just keep in mind, right, we all have different amps, we all have different guitars, different pickups. Even if you have some of the same gear as I do, you know, you may not have exactly the same gear. And like I said, same guitar. When I do testing, I'm going to be using the same guitar or guitars into the same amps to see what the difference is too. You know, because then you can also see for yourself that tone really is not in your frigging fingers like you've been led to believe. It's actually over 90% in the amp in itself, and the rest of it is made up of, you know, the strings, the string gauges, the pickups that you have really do help a little bit as far as output levels versus how much grunge or non-grunge you can get out of any kind of overdrive or distortion, etc. Okay? Anyways, so hopefully that clears up a lot for you guys, and hopefully you've enjoyed this video. And we are going to do a bunch of videos today, so I'm going to go a little upload happy. But I've got some stuff here, including a guitar that my friend has lent me of his. I'm going to be demoing a lot of his gear that he said I could do, so that's great. And we'll get on with doing those. But I also, first, before I do that, I want to get into some of the other stuff I got on Jack's attic sale, including we are going to give this thing a little bit of a run. And then this way you can look up my channel for the DS1 and compare the sound that we get today to the sound we got before with totally different amps and gear, because I do not have any of those same amps, and a lot of my gear has definitely changed as far as guitars go as well. So we'll test this out and see what we think of this thing more nowadays, and see if I really like it that much more, because I haven't actually gotten much of a chance to mess with this thing yet. So we'll see what happens. So stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.